All right. Well, I had to briefly talk about this absolute retrograde Bob Vylan at the Glastonbury Festival, who I think what did he do? He was like a pro-Palestine leftist, cocksucking fucking dumbass who does like a rant about this. So look at this motherfucker. And now here's the unfortunate truth. Look at him. He looks like an absolute weird ass. You're Yeah, I mean, you are dealing with a person who is not very nice, and this is a common theme with leftists, is that they project all this empathy and caring, but really they're the most confrontational, horrible people ever. And he's talking about free Palestine and attack and screw the IDF and stuff. And isn't it funny that our media seems to be kind of almost promoting him? Kind of almost like let's make this guy famous, you know? Now they've done all kinds of shit to his you know, like canceled things, and they've tried to remove him. Now this guy is gonna definitely become famous in certain leftist bullshit circles of people who are assholes and terrible. But I think that the general gist of the thing is that this guy just didn't doesn't probably doesn't even care about Palestine. He probably doesn't even give a shit about some of this stuff. And the one that really triggered a lot of people is he said you can't have your country back to Europe, who's already being invaded by migrants on a daily day basis. Somehow the government allows this to happen. But it speaks to a media that kind of seems to promote these people in many ways. I mean, how can you imagine if this person did all this and went to like a like said all that about Palestine, or it said all that about you know queer groups or something. Can you imagine what he would get? But somehow they're just kind of like, look at this shit that he's saying. How is that not illegal? How is that? How is that guy not taken down the moment he got off stage? I cannot fathom it. And it just shows that leftists get away with shit that the other side would never get away with. Ever. There's the famous example of how there was that woman who got sent in UK to prison for like 3 years over like a frustrated tweet that she deleted to like however many followers. And then this guy's allowed to just go around fucking doing that. I think there should be serious petitions in Europe to, make this guy actually get punished for this. He should be punished for this in some ways. That should not be allowed, chanting, death to a country, because the IDF is made up of, it is a conscript nation, is a nation that is mandatory military service to all citizens at certain ages. So he's saying that basically to a whole country. And the whole thing is like, can you even believe that this is in the media? Now, this guy was never even really known before he did this, so there's a very good, yeah, and yeah, they should. Yeah, they should do that. They regret not pulling the performances. Why the fuck didn't they? The one that really, really goes against what a lot of people think is like, yeah, that is extremely bad, and he should definitely get in trouble for that. Um, and then he's also like spurring on the immigrants, that being like, take your country, like that's the type of rhetoric that really doesn't fly with me. We already kind of see that this stuff is occurring and our politicians are allowing it to happen, but for them to actively be calling for it is a little weird. So let's talk about this goof's channel here. The only reason people know this guy exists is because of this. So you really got to think that they did that as a, kind of, we're going to get famous by doing this. Lots of people are getting headlines for saying free Palestine. We're going to join the free Palestine crew. Listen, whatever side you favor with, like, you got to realize that both sides have troubles and tribulations, yes. But imagine you're Israel and imagine you're living next to Hamas insurgents, and after what happened on October 7th, like, there's going to be retribution for that, and you cannot fault the IDF for doing those kinds of things. Realistically speaking, were they a little bit excessive? Yeah, but I mean, that's war. That's literally Hamas, and you will see people in Palestine still supporting Hamas even after all the awful stuff that is going on. So the whole situation's a mess. Obviously, none of it is good stuff. But I mean, this guy doesn't even care. What's stopping him from going to fucking Palestine and helping some actual people, or fighting against the IDF if he feels that way, which he never would. And that Mossad has eyes on this guy now, because he's a foreign terrorist in their eyes. Think about if you were an IDF soldier and you have this guy in Europe going on stage and yelling that about your country people. What the hell is wrong with these fucking people? You know what I mean? So, I mean, the whole situation is fucked, obviously. But, I mean, what a goofball. He looks goofy. He, is kind of a strange, obviously, person. Look at this fucking goofball. Jesus. He looks like the guy from he looks like the guy from Zoolander. What is that Zoolander DJ? Let's get this up. He does. He looks exactly like him. Look. He looks just like that guy. Like, what the hell is this guy's deal? He's such a weird looking person. Yeah, and I mean, yeah, this guy he's going to potentially become this icon now in these leftist circles. Maybe he wanted that. But because of what he did, he is not going to end up in the mainstream. The poems drew widespread commendation with Glastonbury organizations. Yeah, I'm sure. And have you seen the Glastonbury crowd? Isn't it funny that 99.99% of those people are not from the Middle East, not immigrants. They're all born citizens. So what this asshole is doing, is he's trying, and this is for sure their angles. They try and indoctrinate these people. They try and indoctrinate citizens to think like they do, far leftists. And he's literally just a sad individual, and all the people who follow him are losers and sad as well, because he is literally should be taken down for this. Taken down and arrested and put in some type of program that makes it so that he cannot go and spew this rhetoric anymore, because this is just wrong. And people in Europe are really hurting right now because of the immigration crisis and the type of political extremism that we're seeing. And this fucker doesn't make things any better. So I mean, yeah, I mean, people should definitely, but the truth of the matter is, it almost seemed like the BBC. It almost seemed like mainstream music or media. It almost seemed like they wanted this all to occur. They wanted this person to become given the spotlight. Isn't that curious? I deeply regret such an offense and deplorable period deploys. Look at the smirk on his fucking face. Like, we sure showed them. We sure showed the far right. I'm fucking really sure that they they regret all that. So yeah, I mean, Glastonbury, I'm sure, is just an absolute shit show full of people schwacked on God knows what. So half of the people there probably don't even remember where the hell they were that day. Then they go turn on the news and find out some political bullshit happened. It's funny. It really is funny. U.S. bars Bob Vylan entry. Oh, he should be banned from all other countries. He is at its core, he is a terrorist sympathizer, and he should be labeled as a terrorist sympathizer. These people need to be. It's like Hassan from fucking Twitch. It's like these people need to be labeled what they actually are. They are fucking terrorist sympathizers, and he deserves all the condemnation that he gets. I don't even think I can go into Instagram without fucking bombing out. He, him. Oh, would you look at that? Would you look at that? He's a he, him. Yeah, he does his hair weird, supports Palestine, he likes immigrants flooding in the country. This guy probably had like 1,000 followers before he did that. And now he's this, icon of that. Destroy his career. This guy deserves to do some time, I would say, for this. How could that woman tweet? Lucy Connolly, yeah. Bob Vylan's chant was far worse than Lucy Connolly's tweet. Why is he not in prison? Can you tell me that, UK justice system? So what she said was, burn down migrant hotels, do this, blah, 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 blah. But this guy literally does that, like on stage in front of a whole bunch of people at like basically a rally for far left lunatics. It's truly insane. Two-tier justice fury. Yeah, the people of Europe should be fucking pissed about this. This guy should have the same thing done. It's worse than what Lucy Connolly did. Absolutely is worse. He riled up a base. This poor woman, that happened to her. Can you imagine this? This is what these people want. This is exactly what far leftists want. They want political prosecution for opposers, and they want, a mass drawn audience for oppressors like him, who are indoctrinating children, who are indoctrinating people who are deeply confused about the state of the world already, and it's just wrong. He's just an absolute twat, and the people of UK should be fucking furious that this guy did this, and should be calling for some, true penalties to come to this guy. Yeah. What a mixed miscarriage of justice, and that's what we're starting to see. That we're starting to see that leftists are getting favoritism in the courts around the world. We're starting to see that these far left groups are winning some type of political victories, and it's not going to be long before they can say whatever the hell they want and get away with it, and the other side, the right side, is going to be condemned for even the smallest speech of opposition. And that's a very dangerous precedent. That's where we could be headed. Yeah, backlash needs to be intensified. The U.S. revoking the visas is gonna. I mean, yeah, he's probably got all these fans flooding in now, but this is gonna hurt his financials because the U.S. tour could have brought him in millions. I guarantee. Let's see Reddit. Look at Reddit losers. Locked post, of course. Look at that. You know, Reddit is the most shitbag site there is, and these people are downright criminals at the best of times. Look at that shit. You know, they're propping him up. So he's become some type of leftist folk whore. Fucking criminals, all of them. Fucking criminals, man. Look at these people. What is this? Indie heads? Reddit is full of the most left-wing loonies there is. I guarantee you it. I fucking promise you that. Reddit is full of a bunch of left-wing fucking lunatics, and we let people look at the diversity in that crowd. You know, so yeah, uggos and hippies for days in that crowd. And of course, they all support Palestine. Why don't you go to Palestine? Why don't you go hang around with Hamas for a day? Let's see how your day goes. Let's see how the poor, oppressed peoples of Palestine treat you when you go and start hanging out with them. Craziness. Fucking craziness, man.